The spirit tugs and tugs at the source collar around his neck, though it budges not an inch.
We couldn't. I couldn't. Is it really our fault? The Void Woken.
I assure him that sorcerers are not the ones to blame for the Void Woken.
He gives you a look full of hope, then remembers the collar round his neck and slumps forward, letting his hands hang heavy by his sides.
I take my leave. Shadow over driftwood. Oh, this is Wrecker's Cave.
A dwarven spirit cowers on the ground, trapped in the fear of her final moments.
No, please! Help! Someone! Help!
Tell the spirit to calm down. No harm can befall her. No
With
more,
growing horror,
no more
she
harm.
turns her focus on something unseen, looming high above her.
Looks like
The trembling of the dwarven spirit tells you the halberd in his hands may not be enough to withstand his unseen enemy. He glances behind him, searching for an escape. He drops the halberd and bolts behind some nearby rocks.
Divine, save me! I don't want to die, please! I don't want to die! I don't want to die!
The spirit screams and screams as something unseen tears into him.
there's a Void Woken on the bridge ahead. But where's it going?
A frantic dwarf knocks an arrow to a phantom bow. He lets it fly at some towering, invisible horror, visible only in his mind's eye. He reaches for another arrow.
Keep firing, damn you! He has to have a weak spot. He has to.
I tell him to be calm. He's no longer in danger. He's beyond his troubles.
The ghostly dwarf ignores you, but the word Mordus forms soundlessly upon his lips. He drops his bow and yanks his sword from its sheath.
Come on, you filth! Let's see what your insides look like!
I follow the spirit's gaze in an effort to see what he saw.
There's nothing there. Her gaze falls on you, a glimmer of awareness. She raises her hand as a greeting, or as a warning.
Tell her I'm looking for Mordus.
The spirit takes a deep breath and bellows silently. A distant cry echoes along the cavern.
Run!
Oh. There's one alive.
Gods! What happened?
The dwarf rocks on her haunches, gnawing at her own bloody knuckles. Her wet, fearful eyes flick to you. She lowers her fist just enough to hiss a warning.
Away! Away! Too noisy! It'll come back! It'll take me too!
Ask her what exactly would take her.
She shrinks into the fetal position.
It'll come back! It'll come back! It'll come back! It'll come back! And we'll all be eaten alive!
Scholar, tell her she's in a state of shock. No, this is an observation by myself. Tell her she's in a state of shock. I need her to try and focus on me.
The dwarf shakes her head vigorously.
No! I don't want to look! I I saw too much already, too much.
Angrily. No, look her in the eyes and ask what she saw.
Your efforts draw an expression of eerie calm. She stares up at you, wide-eyed.
You'll see for yourself. They take us for food. They take us for food for their spawn. They'll take you too.
Her stillness dissolves. Trembling, she curls herself into a whimpering ball and shuts you out.
Takes us for food, but left a lot of bodies back on the floor.
Get out before he knows you're here.
Ask if by he means Mortis.
You think I stopped to get a name? They locked him up, but he got out, and they went crazy. They all went crazy. Run. If you know what's good for you, run.
What are you doing? They're close. I can feel them. Run. For the love of the seven, run.
What happened here?
There's no time. Run, you idiot. Run.
A sorcerer? Still wearing the collar, too.
Is this where the flying Voidwoken took those poor souls from the beach?
This calls for some sneaky teleportation, I suppose. Oh, I only can teleport down, not up. Okay. If I just hold it in my hands, can I teleport to it? Cool, that works. Now I want it back. Wait, I think I may have messed something up. I think I missed a conversation piece by doing that. So I want to unfuck that part up.
You made it all the way here, you creeping little maggots? Have you wriggled up to bow to me? Has Lohar sent you to beg forgiveness for his sins?
What?
My lord had faith. He came to me when Lohar failed the queen. And as a reward for my service, he has granted me his favor. He has granted me Mord Achaim.
Scholar, Mord Achaim. That ritual is older than time. Blood magic with the power to decimate armies.
armies. Merely sheep with swords, minds that beg to be controlled. But Mord Akeim is so much more than the power to have those beasts slaughter each other. And it is mine. By the Lord's grace, the power is mine.
Okay.
Right where I want you.
Buff. Smack. Move. Let's see here. I didn't mean to do that. I restored nothing.
Prepare yourself.
My puppets, strike them down.
Did he just hit his own dude?
Prepare yourself.
Of course I can't. Cheeky little shit.
None. Worm's tail.
You missed.
I'm ready.
Please, no! Mercy! Mercy!
The Master Sorcerer throws up his pocked, cracked arms to defend himself as you step forward.
I'll consider mercy. But he needs to do something for me first.
The undead dwarf looks quickly over its shoulder, his gaze darting from shadow to shadow.
Of course, anything, just name it.
I need to learn how to channel more Source. If he helps, he might get to walk out of this cave.
What? Source?
The skeleton slowly lowers his arms, staring at you in disbelief.
Of course. You're Godwoken. You seek power. Ultimate power. And I worried we could not find common ground. Yes, Godwoken, I can teach you. If you swear you won't banish me to the afterlife.
I want to snarl that he's on any position to bargain, but I'm just going to go ahead and nod and then kill him afterwards anyways. He won't know.
Praise be. Very well, Godwoken. Listen carefully. Source and void, day and night, love and hate. One is meaningless without the other. To grow your source, to achieve your potential, you must embrace the void.
The grinning skeleton reaches into the folds of his robes and pulls out a small black mass. It's covered in veins and oozing pus.
Here, Godwoken. Take a bite.
I shrug my shoulders and sink my teeth into the black vowel organ.
The thick pus explodes into your mouth, coating the inside of your skull. Biting down, you can feel the flesh is tough and gritty. You've never been so grateful to be missing a tongue. Deep within you, you feel something change. Your soul opens up, and you feel it swell as new channels for source start to flow through you. You swallow all you can, and despite the meat in your stomach, you feel a new space inside you, a potential waiting to be filled.
There, I held up my end of the bargain. I did as you asked, and now I'm getting as far from this cave as my bones will take me.
Step to the side and block him. I still have some questions.
Mordus looks at you.
God's graves, please be quick.
Why did he possess the dwarves?
I had no choice. They wanted to destroy the death fog. They haul barrels of the greatest weapons in the world off a ship and then decide to throw them in the ocean. We couldn't let it happen. We needed it. So I took control.
Grab him by the collarbones and demand he tells me about the death fog.
Ah! The Queen! It's the Queen! She saw what death fog did to the Black Ring. She saw it destroy the Elven Forest. She said the dwarves needed power like that.
Uh-oh, that's not great.
And he told me to make sure she got it. He told me to ensure they got to... Arcs. The barrels were going to Arcs.
But how? How did he control the dwarves?
The power gifted to me. The power of Mordecai. The power to bend the feeble-minded to my will. And so much more. It was a gift from... It was a gift.
Ask him what has him so spooked.
I can't. He'll hear. He'll know. He'll find me. He'll come.
Snarl that I'm already here. He will tell me.
If I tell you, I die. Or worse.
Mordus takes a step back, looking about in half-crazed panic.
I can't. I can't. Not now. It's too late. It's all too late.
Demand that he tells me what I want to know.
The dwarf sets his jaw and firmly refuses to speak until you ask him something else.
I don't have time for this. If he's not telling me, I'm forcing it out of him.
What? No, I can't.
You grab the dwarf's old brittle arm and follow through with your knee. There's a dry snapping sound as the crumbling bone cracks and gives way.
Ah! No! Stop! Stop! I beg you! I'll tell you.
You relent, and the dwarf stumbles back, cradling his fractured arm and whimpering.
It's him.
The one the seven rejected. The god.
The dwarf is interrupted by another crack. You see his femur has developed a break. The fracture spreads, shearing the bone in two. Morda stumbles to the ground, oddly silent. He looks up, and you see that his jaw is cracked, broken, and falling to pieces. Fissures are starting to run across his skull, and his ribs start to snap and fall one by one.
Fall to my knees, curdling his skull, and ask what he's going to say.
Mordus tries to raise his remaining arm to his head, splaying his fingers wide, but the digits are viciously snapped off by some unseen force. You hear the tiniest whimper from the skeleton before his face caves in, as if smashed with an invisible mace, and the body lies still and silent.
I've never felt such power.
You feel newfound powers of the source course wildly through your body. Deep inside your soul, your god calls for you. It would be wise to meet with your god again by performing the Meister's ritual, here or in Siva's vault.
Gonna talk to my teammates.
The thought of death fog gives you pause. A weapon like that should give everyone pause.
A weapon of untold destruction, and you use it against your own kind, knowing that it's going to end their existence. How barbarous.
Ah, death fog. Instant victory. I always applauded Lucian for using it.
I've seen this. Seen death fog in action. Such horror has no place in this world.
Who wakes up in the morning and thinks, today I'll invent something that'll be able to murder people by the hundreds?
Alright. Let's loot the bodies. Cool. Constitution, fire resist, necromancer, and reflect damage with a socket. And more magic armor. I think I'll put it on. Because I don't necessarily care about the finesse. Let me see if it's better than Fane's, though, before I just toss it away. No, it is not. It's more magic armor, but the other one has ranged on it instead of the lucky charm. And he doesn't benefit from the necromancer, so... it shall be sold. Yeah, it's gonna get sold. Key goes into the key bag.
The ghost stares down at his broken, twisted body, a look of glum resignation on his face.
It ain't a pretty way to go, mind you. Could be a damn sight better than whatever Lohar would have done if he'd got his hands on us. Mind control or no, he'll be livid when he finds out what we did.
I'm so sorry. I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't want to hurt anyone. But he made me. That voice. He made me. I let him out of the vault. I killed anyone that got in the way. And then I sat here as he gibbered about needing to complete his bloody Mordecai.
What is a Mordecai? What is it exactly?
Damned if I know. Some ancient ritual, he said. It gave him the power to twist our minds, to turn us into his puppets. And when he was strong enough, it turned him into... that. He thought it was a reward. Kept saying how blessed he was. What madness.
So he must have been like a flesh-covered dwarf, like a regular dwarf before, and whatever magic he was using turned him into a skeletal version. Let's see this. Identify. Huntsman on it, huh? Yeah. So we're at the point now where I'm not necessarily gaining as much out of the chess piece set bonuses. Oh, do you not need to wear the full set? No, you do for the set bonus itself, for Tyrant's Charm. But the items are already level 8 right now.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Something's about to happen. Otherwise the quick save is lying. The Art of Destruction, Fiery Infusions. This dry as dust military training book details the underappreciated field of weapon infusions. Deep within the staccato-like prose, you find useful methods for infusing weapons with elemental fire. Perhaps more can be gleaned from this tome, but you'd be hard-pressed to keep your eyes open long enough. Oh, we've seen it before. Letter from the Queen. Dwarven
A letter
Queen.
with a dwarf seal.
Lohar.
Fine paper. It looks important.
Isabel's agents inform her that the death
Dwarf's
fog
well seal.
is in your possession. It must be delivered
Open it
to...
once. This could be valuable.
It must be delivered to Arcs with all possible speed. I didn't hear what any of they were saying. I do not know what is causing this delay, but I do know you will rectify this unfortunate error. I'm sure you know the penalty for disobedience. Do not disappoint me. Okay, so now this is starting to make sense. The dude we killed earlier mentioned that Lohar had failed, and now we know why. He had gotten a hold of Death Fog. She wanted it, but Lohar decided that it was far too dangerous and destroyed it instead, or was going to destroy it.
Even dead, there are humans causing me trouble. You need something? Take a hike, Longshanks. Me and your belly button ain't got nothing to talk about.
What happened here?
What's it look like? Either they were a void-woken attack, or this is the most unfortunate dinner party you ever did see. Now shove off. I've got an afterlife to enjoy, and your jabbering ain't making it easy.
Grunted the dwarf's attitude. What are they doing here anyways?
Walk on, Bones. I got nothing to say to you.
Take a step towards the spirit. It will tell me.
The dwarf pulls a dagger with shocking dexterity and reflexively swings at your gut. Thankfully, the ephemeral blade passes right through you. With a rancid look, the dwarf pockets the knife. As he does so, you spot the royal seal of the Dwarven Queen on the handle. Through gritted teeth, the dwarf growls.
We're done here.
Don't worry about it, says Lohar. Quietest work around, says Lohar. Well, I don't see him here, cold as the stone he's lying on. It will be fine, my arse. And here I was, the fool, believing him.
The ghost swings a foot to kick its old body in frustration, but the boot sails straight through her corpse.
Why is she so angry at Lohar? She chose this life.
Because it's his fault. If not for him, I'd still be sitting there, wine in hand, happy as Larry. But no, he knew best. He wanted the Death Fog destroyed.
Well, that makes him a hero. Death Fog in the wrong hands could be devastating.
That's why we were to make sure it got into the right hands. Our hands. I even stood guard of Mordus when he were doing nothing but the Queen's bidding. No wonder we came to this. This is what I deserve for following the orders of a leader with the spine of a sponge. Thank Duna Her Majesty has more steel in her belly than that coward.
What's the Queen have anything to do with this?
You're a little tool to be asking questions like that. Her Majesty is trying to do what's best for the dwarf people. And there's not a thing more you need to know.
The lock's melting away. Mordus turned the key into an amulet. Cunning.
Ooh. Where am I? Identify. One point to scoundrel instead of finesse, but I'm losing a point in necromancer. But I am picking up not quite 20, it's what, 15 armor. Poison wave, gold. Let's identify the ring. Warfare and summoning. Yeah, I'll take that over the +1 wits ring I'm using right now. Now, do I care about 15 armor? Or would I prefer to keep my 1 point in necromancy? Nah. Don't care about the book.
And I thought this cave couldn't get any more grim.
I do not want to know what that smell is.
Death, most likely. Watch your step.
What was that? Oh, this is the eyeball we need to get into Mordo's chamber. Yep, there it is. Quest item. This is just for selling. Oops. And gold. Yes, I want the gold. Don't need to keep the patch now.
Ooh. Careful now. That's a trap.
Alright. So this is supposed to... Oh, well, there's more stuff to look at. Yep, I want that. Books, scrolls, nope. Nope. Official rulebook on archery. I'll take the sheets. What's the book say? This rather dry rulebook describes a set of rules for archery contests. It's specifically detailed on how contestants may not consume boltress mushrooms or potions containing them. In fact, it can contain so much detail that you think you could probably use it to create a boltress potion. Oh yeah, more finesse. Take that. I'll take that. Trumpet of Death. True brew. The name like a trumpet of death. This book is about a plant that speaks to our imagination. Etymology is a macabre name, comes from it's where it used to grow, in the middle of boiling lava. This plant seems to have the ability to withstand all types of conditions. You will literally find it anywhere, if you can find it at all. Minor resist potion. This is a recipe for a cursed poison flask. In the darkest night, put on your mask and decant out one poison flask. Into that murk then will absorb a fresh and juicy round source orb. Then at completion of your task in your hands, a cursed poison flask. Okay, now we found everything.
The spirit twists and turns in front of you. It looks lost. It looks scared. It looks desperate.
Reach out to the spirit.
As your hand passes through the ghost, you feel its fear flow into you. You feel its confusion. You feel hands on the hard stone, ripped skin where the monster grabbed you. You're surrounded by darkness.
With the peace of my mind that is still my own, urge the spirit to run.
You scramble forward blindly, but slip and fall. The floor is slick with something. There's liquid on the ground. It's wet. It's warm. Oh gods, you pray it's not blood. You summon your magic, and a tiny light flickers. You're kneeling in a clear pool of liquid. It isn't blood. You look up into dozens of eyes glittering in the dark. A long drip of saliva falls from the shadows. It isn't blood. You're flung from the vision, screaming ringing in your ears. Back in your own body, you double over, trying not to retch.
Where are these things? Wherever they are, they're dead.
I'll need to get clever with this lock.
The burial chamber key.
Good find.
Focus! Evasive maneuvers, Crackers!
I'll go back down this way.
I'll yield to none.
Am I frozen? Is that why? I'm gonna let these eggs hatch. I'm interested to see if I would get experience for killing them then. I'm gonna let the other two eggs hatch to see if I get experience. But
I'm ready.
I didn't see myself getting any experience, so I'm gonna go ahead and take them out.
Glory is mine.